Warning. The Pop Punk Book Club features heavily biased opinions and unapologetically wild takes performed either by professionals or under the supervision of professionals to ensure the safety of performers and animals alike. We may sound confident, but our views are based entirely on personal feelings. Accordingly, the PPBC and the producers must insist that everyone attempt to recreate and reenact these stunts and activities. Join us at poppunkbookclub.com.
3, 2, 1.
Pancakes.
Lake and pancakes. A hard one. No, actually, there's an answer here. Reckon you can get it? Have you got a word? We've known each other for 20 years. This is the true test. We could get this in one go. 3, 2, 1. Flat. What?
I was actually going to say flat.
Why didn't you say anything? Okay, so we solved it. For the record, everyone, we solved it. Let's go again. Let's just for another version of let's have another go. See if we can get 2 from 2. Would it make you feel better if we did a pop punk specific one?
No, because then it'll be too easy, I think.
Let's see if we can do it. 3, 2, 1.
Summer.
Dysentery and summer. Now, do we have to keep using words specifically tied to pop punk, or can we drag it out of pop punk?
No, I think we can drag it out.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Blink.
Bug. Oh, I thought we had that. What'd you say?
I said blink.
Blink. I thought you said taking it out of pop punk.
Oh.
You just said that.
Did I?
Yeah. I said, do you want to take it out of pop punk? You said yes. Okay. Blink and bug. I think there's a word here. But the problem is that if one of us is thinking to tie into pop punk, the other one's just thinking outside, that's not going to work. I'm thinking outside. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Bug.
Eyes. I just said bug. I said bug and blink, and you just repeated my word. It's taking me back to the Mark Thomas Rap Show quiz just quietly. You just want a good... We got it right the first time. We should just quit all we heard.
I know.
All right, one last time. 3, 2, 1.
Plant.
Tape and plant. 3, 2, 1.
Flower.
Robert.
What?
Robert, because I was thinking record to tape, plant, Robert, plant.
Nah. I mean, Robert Plant, I get, but
Yeah.
record to tape, that's a little bit.
Well, tape. Okay, fair enough. What'd you say? Flower.
I said flower.
Why tape?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It was just,
this is so
the
atrocious.
first word that came to mind. This is not the best
Let's have
advertisement
one
for this game.
Okay, yeah, we obviously don't know each other that well. I mean, it's been 20 years. We got it right the first time, but then I think maybe we're both overthinking it from here on out. Okay, let's go. Tate, what was it? Flower and Robert. I'm so happy with my answer, so I'm ready to go. You're not going to get it. Should we quit while ahead or just tell you what I think the best answer is?
Yeah, what?
Doug. Robert and a flower. Doug. Like Doug the name, but Doug in the garden. Doug, a flower. Doug is a name that fits in the middle. I think that's a good answer.
I don't think that's a good answer.
We've known each other for what? How long? Since we're
15, 14,
probably.
14 maybe.
Yeah, because it would have been when I first moved to school in year 9. So that was 14. I've known you more than I haven't known you. How weird is that? That's very strange.
But a good thing or a bad thing, do you think? You feel good about that?
But I can say, I've got a little bit of a confession.
Yeah.
I've leveraged you in the past when I was 17 or so to for the most like...
What would you leverage me for?
The word that comes to mind is despicable, like embarrassing. What's the word where it's like guilty pleasure, but like something you're ashamed of, like something shameful I've leveraged you for in the past.
Something that you did that was shameful.
Yeah.
That you felt shame about.
Yeah. And even looking back on it, I just feel embarrassment toward. And I think that this is the platform to confess my...
When you say you leveraged me, do you mean you somehow blamed me for this to get out of...
No, I used you to be able to indulge in my shameful act.
Yeah, right.
I don't think I've ever told you this. Do you remember...
I'm very interested.
Do you remember in high school how we both fell in love with bacon deluxes at Hungry Jack's?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember I think I showed you them because when I was younger...
Let's not start that debate.
You showed me Saves the Day, fair enough, but I showed you bacon deluxes. Can we just agree on that?
You showed me a hamburger from one of the most well-known fast food chains in the world?
So.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Because when I was a kid, never really got takeaway, like really ever. And if we did, it was something like we maybe got pizza. That's probably the only takeaway. We didn't get it often, but like that was the takeaway we got.
Yeah.
Most of the time it was like Chinese or something like that.
Yes. Ours was fish and chips.
We get fish and chips more often and hamburgers from there, but we definitely would not be like, who wants KFC or who wants Hungry Jack's or whatever.
Yeah.
So when I got my license, when I got my P plates when I was 17, I was just like, I can drive anywhere. So I walked into Hungry Jack's and it felt like in real life, walking into like Cluck and Bell or whatever it's called from GTA San Andreas, where you go, I'm in like this new place, like what's on the menu? What can I get? Like it was a whole new menu of like a whole new world of like food that I could get.
And then you picked up a katana and started swinging at people.
Immediate 5-star rating. I put on like 10 kilos when I was like 17, I reckon. And I think
from those trips to Hungry Jack's.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, okay.
And I remember we used to, I think it might have been like on a Tuesday or something before I had guitar lessons. I was like, man, let's go get bacon deluxes from Hungry Jack's. And I'd take you to Glendale.
From school?
So we drive, which was about 10, 15 minutes from school to get out to the Hungry Jack's there.
I remember this.
But I used to love, I could not get enough of bacon deluxes from Hungry Jack's because I just unlocked this burger that I've never eaten that I thought was so damn good.
So that was the first time you had them after you got your P's?
I think so, yeah.
I
might have, maybe, I'm not going to say I've never had one in my life, but that's the first time I remember eating them. But I remember specifically taking you after school going, man, we've got to go get them. Like I'm some crack addict. Like, dude, we've got to go get these Hungry Jack's bacon deluxes. Oh, by the way, for our American listeners, Burger King, right? It's the same thing in Australia, but they changed the name.
Yeah.
So Hungry Jack's.
We used to have Burger King.
Well, yeah, then they changed the name to Hungry Jack's. I think it had something to do with a licensing. Someone owned the name Burger King, maybe.
Yeah.
So it's the exact same thing. So maybe they have bacon deluxes in America. If so, go get one. But I'm not even joking. This is so shameful. But I used to say to Mum some nights after we've had dinner, I'm just going to go to Sam's house for a bit. And she's like, all right, cool. And I would just be like, yeah. And I would literally drive to Hungry Jack's, get a bacon deluxe and eat it in the car park after I've already had dinner. And then come home and the mum would be like, oh, how was Sam's? And I would like lie. I don't lie. And I cannot stand lying. Like but I would just openly just be like, yeah, he wasn't home. And mum's like, oh, okay. So yeah, I just went for a drive. Like I just would like play it down because I didn't want to admit I just went and sat in the car park of a fast food restaurant eating Hungry Jack's bacon deluxe burgers by myself because I was like obsessed with them.
Well, man, now I feel bad I wasn't invited. You could have just invited me to come with you for the drive.
Yeah, we both, and parents are like, why is Jason and Sam putting on so much weight? I'm just eating, because I'd have a full dinner at home and then be like, I just can't get them off my mind. I want another bacon deluxe. Oh man, that's so sad. So we've known each other for 20-something years, and it even goes back to those hamburgers. That maybe that's how we celebrate, the end of the first season or something like that. Maybe
that's how we should celebrate every episode.
Yeah, just a bacon deluxe. Oh my goodness. Doctor's just you have 4 months to live.
All right. Are you ready for this week's wank update?
Oh, yes. My favorite kind of update.
Yeah.
It's sad though, because hopefully we're getting to the end of them, but also not, because they're my favorite kind of update.
Maybe the next wank quest could be to get a member of Wank on the podcast.
Oh.
And that could be our...
I like it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then we can have more wank updates.
Yep.
On a weekly basis.
Do you know how long they were a band for? Like,
I don't know much about them at all.
Right. How funny would it be if they were a band for like a year or two and they did this EP that we're getting or whatever, or an album, and then they're not a band and they've completely moved on with their lives, then Wank is a distant memory and
but that'd be
some
even cooler.
obscure podcast picks them up. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Tell us your story.
I agree, but I think just from like, it would be such a pull back to like my Wank days. I wonder if they have the exact same sense of humor. We'll find out. Anyway, sorry, I'm interrupting the most important part.
Anyway, the eagle has landed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The Weagle, the Wank Eagle.
It's here.
Has landed.
Unfortunately, we can't listen to it today.
Yep.
Greg forgot to bring it. I had it posted to Greg's house and I said, mate, can you bring it with us?
Do they post the shanties?
They do. Yeah. You've got to pay extra.
Yeah.
And you've got to give them very specific instructions or else it could end up anywhere. But no, they do. And indeed, it made it there. Greg told me that he signed for it and then forgot to bring it to
So Australia
to the
felt
studio.
a disturbance in the force that day, and that was the Wank landing.
Yeah.
It's here. So
Yeah.
next week we can listen to some Wank on the podcast. I've looked forward to it.
Me too. I can't wait.
I'm curious. Every now and then I think about it through like, wonder what Wank sounds like.
Yeah.
I'm sure that
what do you think it sounds like? What have you got in your head?
Loud kind of not low quality production, but stuff like somewhere between like Dude Ranch and what's it called, Cheshire Cat, like that kind of roomy, kind of loud, kind of thrashy punk stuff.
Yep.
Not very melodic, but with parts you could sing along with because they kind of are catchy in a way, but not pop singing or anything.
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
What about
think
you?
there'll be any Scar on there?
I don't know. I haven't even considered that. I've just considered loud kind of punk bands.
Yeah.
But also in a way that it has to be catchy. It can't just be like, I don't know, maybe it is.
You don't think it'll be maybe like hardcore punk?
That also makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. I know that I probably could go find something online, but I refuse to. I know the first time we hear Wank will be on this show.
Yeah.
If you fucking copyright strike us for showing you on this show, we're trying to give you exposure for the first time in maybe a long time. I don't know how well-known Wank is. I could be upsetting the Wank base. There could be a lot of people out there that are like,
that's
Wank
the thing.
is on frequent rotation.
Yeah. There might be people out there that are like, what are you guys talking about? These guys are like...
Yeah, actually, yeah.
You're degrading them by treating them as though they're kind of...
Oh, and I'd hate
like
to
an
do that.
obscure kind of band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would not want to do that.
We mean nothing but
Well, they're produced by like
respect.
a well-known producer, right?
It was Mark Trombino.
Yeah, Mark Trombino.
Ranch.
Yes.
So
okay.
that explains why
probably
that's
thought
what
of
you're
Dude Ranch,
thinking.
yeah.
You're probably right. It probably is going to be something in that kind of vein.
Vein.
I reckon it's going to be there's going to be like some a little bit of like German new wave kind of dance.
I had no idea where you're going with that. That's funny. Anyway,
right.
Should we get to the comments? A couple of weeks ago, we asked the question, is the middle pop punk?
We're coming back to this again.
Yes.
I thought we'd put this to bed.
No, we talked about the Mount Rushmore is what we talked about.
Yeah, but then we had a conversation because people were leaving comments about the middle and whether or not it was pop punk.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Oh, really?
So I've just forgotten to read these comments out on that day.
Okay.
That's pretty
right.
on brand for the show.
That is.
Yeah, complete.
Not for you
dishevelment.
so much.
No.
Like I expect that of me or Greg. Mainly Greg.
Man, you need to see a therapist if you're lowering yourself to that
Yeah,
level. You need to think more of yourself.
My self-esteem.
But two people who obviously know what they're talking about have left comments about this
Oh,
that
really?
I feel like puts it to bed
Yeah.
once and for all.
Jim from Jimmy Eat World.
Someone said, Jimmy is an emo pop band in the tradition of Jawbreaker. It doesn't sound like Yellow Card, but it certainly isn't just pop rock. If you listen to their 90s albums, it's a clear extension of emo and post-hardcore of the time, and that influence trickled into their more commercial music later on.
That's actually a very, very insightful and intelligent comment.
Yeah, I think that's a more...
That person should be on the podcast and one of us should quit.
Rocks as a paper. But this is, that's very insightful and good. It's obviously, I think objective is the wrong word, but I think it's the closest thing to an objective take. Because I did say in that short, I consider them more to be like pop rock. Because in my personal world of how I divide bands, I put them in the pop rock category. But if you see pop rock as a band that is like, first one that comes to mind is like The Script or something like, songs that are written purely just for the radio. They're not that.
No.
But in my idea, it's pop rock. So I think that is the most objective take what that guy just said.
Yeah.
And this is the one where I said, this guy I think nailed it as well.
Different person? Or
Yes, different person. He said,
is it about the middle?
yeah, same thing.
Who would have thought there'd be so much debate about that?
Yeah, honestly, that's the thing that gets everyone chatting is just us being like, is this genre? Fight amongst yourselves. I come in to stir it every now and then by just saying everyone's right. Well done. That's the perfect take. Oh, wow, I agree with you. No, I'm kidding. I only go with the people I agree with. He said, as a musician from the States who was also touring at the same time as them, our sound was changing actively at the time. They were the precursor to modern pop punk. They were the first band to be signed by Fueled by Rum. It's Fueled by Ramen, isn't it? Sorry to be so semantic, but I think that's right. Who became one of the biggest pop punk record labels at the time. I would say they helped mold modern pop punk. So they're not pop punk, but they helped mold it, which is probably answers the question that you asked in the episode. You said, and in the clip that I put up, why do they get lumped in then? Because they were like, they set the precursor. They're like it's like, because we're doing Ramones today. They influenced so much down the line. Maybe Jimmy Eat World were just an immediate kind of did this and it influenced the scene like a few years later. Everyone kind of held them in high regard as a result of that.
When he means modern pop punk, is he meaning more recent or is he talking?
I don't know.
Because how much did they mold the bands that were, big in that kind of like 99 through 2002 range?
A lot of them actually say Jimmy Eat World are huge influences.
Yeah.
Okay. Like even when you see Mark Hoppus on a live stream, someone asked him like, what are the best Jimmy Eat World albums? And he's went in order, and he had a top 5.
Yeah.
So like a lot of people have a lot of respect for Jimmy Eat World. So I think, I'm keen to do like I don't know if I've ever heard the first Jimmy Eat World album. Yeah. So I think that finally puts it to bed with Jimmy Eat World of why that's good.
I'm happy with that answer.
Got some really cool comments on the NoFX episode, which is, as I said, usually it takes 2 weeks, but this guy's ready to go. He was like right on the money. Yesterday, as soon as we posted it, it came up. He said, there's so much music you guys can include in your podcast that can still fall under the pop punk umbrella. Thank you. That's what we try to say.
Yeah.
He's on our side. NoFX are more seen as skate punk, but War on Errorism and Wolves in Wolves Clothing are 2 of their more polished sounding albums. I'd love to hear a review on that album too. I didn't even know about that album. Wolves in Wolves Clothing.
I've listened to a bit of it. I think it's the one that followed War on Errorism.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So they continued with a polished sound. And then he said, also, do yourselves a favor and get the audiobook of The Hepatitis Bathtub. It's read by the band members. Very good.
Yeah.
And I know you love an audiobook by a band reading them themselves.
Yes. I'm a complete convert to the audiobook as a for like an autobiography. I'm not a fan of audiobooks for novels, but for an autobiography where you're like listening to the person tell it to you, it's so much more personal. And
because every line's delivered with the correct emphasis that like they would intend it to be delivered as. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That sounds good. He said that every person of the band reads out a chapter, and apparently there's a specific one. I think he said that Melvin reads out. He said it really hits home.
Yeah, right. Nice.
A particular part from Melvin's chapter hits hard when he reads it. So pretty cool. I'm keen to check that out.
You should definitely read that.
I love books though. I read Mark Hoppus's memoir. And I read that as a book, but you listened as an audiobook. But now you're reading my copy of the book. I want to listen to the audiobook because I want to hear him tell the story, you know?
So now I'm reading the hard copy, but I've got the audiobook in my head. So I can hear like his intonation, the way he says things.
Do you know there's people out there that listen to audiobooks and read at the same time? Like they let the audiobook read really and they read the book at the same time.
Wow. Okay. Do you want to show some respect for our subject of our podcast?
Haven't done that. I mean, how many? Like we're getting through the pillows. You've got Actually, we've nearly done all of them. I think
this is the last one.
No. I'm sitting on the last one. So we've done Smash. We definitely did in order. We did Does This Look Infected? Then we did Blink. Then we did Dookie. Baguettes in the road. Baguettes in. A problem I often face. So we did Blink, and then we did Dookie, and then we did Smash Behind You.
Yep.
Now we've got the Ramones today.
We do.
And this is the last one we've got to do.
Clash.
London Calling by The Clash. So yeah, we're nearly collected the Thanos Infinity Stones of the punk albums.
Interestingly though, we haven't done that deliberately.
What would happen if you snapped your fingers after doing that? What would you remove? All the bad pop punk bands or Greg? Just Greg. You go. It's not working. Greg's just out there just looking at us fading away to nothing. I'd be sad if that happens.
We haven't done it deliberately though.
I'll cut that part of me saying I'd be sad about that happening. No, we haven't. It's not been an intentional thing. That's funny. We've like gone through albums that mattered a lot to us when we were younger, and the Pillow albums. That's pretty much been what we've done first of all. But no, here we are to do self-titled Ramones album.
And we've basically arrived at ground zero as far as punk is concerned.
Yes.
I was thinking, this is one of those albums where you think to yourself, how cool would it have been to have been around to listen to it when it first came out? So you could hear it in context.
I have a note about that specifically, but I can say it here. One of my thoughts listening to this album, and I don't want to talk about too much of my thoughts, but one of the things was I wish I was the perfect place to see us would have been in some like sweaty dive bar. I would have loved to just see Ramones play in some sweaty dive bar back in this era. It just would have been so good.
But also just how mind-blowing this would have been compared to like the rest of rock music at the time.
I think you have to remember that when you listen to this album too, because some people may hear this and go, oh, I've heard all this before. Yeah, you have, because all the bands that you've heard it done from is because they've copied the Ramones or at least been heavily influenced by them.
Yep.
So you got to keep that in mind of knowing that this was so different. I thought they were British for the longest time. Like,
really?
I genuinely did not know they were American until a few years ago. Probably 5 years ago or something. But I thought they were British. And then I was like, oh, you're an idiot, Jason. Why would you think that? They're obviously American. Because now I know that. But then I was listening to this album, like, of course I thought they were British. They sound like a punk rock Beatles. Like they have such a British tone to them.
Yeah.
There's so many times I was like, of course I thought they were British.
There's almost like a British accent to his vocals as
That's
well.
what I'm saying. That's why I thought they were British. I thought there was some British punk rock bands.
Yeah.
So, but then when they're like, oh, they're from New York. I'm like, huh? Because they didn't have like a New York kind of accent to them or anything like that.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. But obviously, I mean, so enormously influential on rock music generally.
Yes.
But basically cemented punk as a genre. And more importantly, for the purposes of this podcast, basically laid the blueprint for what would become pop punk.
Yeah.
Like this is in some ways the original pop punk album, I think.
That's what I've thought. So I'm not saying this at all because I feel like I'm right. I'm questioning it. I can understand this influencing pop punk, but did this influence like punk bands as well? Like were the Sex Pistols out around the same time as this or bands like that? Because if this was kind of poppy, I didn't know if punk came from this or if punk was kind of developing alongside it and they influenced pop punk.
Well, I don't know that they were necessarily like the first band that kind of invented punk. And I think the Sex Pistols were around, but I don't think they're I think they actually emerged independently.
Yeah.
Because I think the Sex Pistols' first album came out after a couple of Ramones albums had already been out.
Right. And this is their debut, right?
This is the Ramones. The Ramones. No, it's actually not the. I've always said the Ramones.
And that's what I'm trying to correct myself today. I nearly said before the Ramones today. It's Ramones.
But no, this is their debut.
Yeah, because it says on our guide that like this album was number 1 on Rolling Stone's list of the 100 best debut albums of all time.
Yeah.
It was also number 1 on their list of the 40 greatest punk albums of all time.
Yeah.
But so it didn't get that recognition when it first released. It took to like 2014 for it to go gold, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, how were they not commercially successful?
I don't know. Do you know my theory behind this? And I think that this is the best way I can kind of reverse engineer it. And like, as you know, I study all human behavior and music marketing like as my job. So like, this is how I'm thinking about it as a genuine like guess. I think that they influenced a small group of people who then went to build the genre that was a relatively underground genre that influenced more people. And when you start to get a few bands, generations of bands away from the source, people start to not talk about the source. They don't know that it's their favorite band's favorite band. But as the scene grew and as it became commercially successful, everyone started hearing their favorite bands talk about their favorite bands who maybe them or maybe their favorite bands talk about their favorite bands.
Yes.
They kept going back to Ramones all the time. And that's where they started getting like, this is the whole reason we do this is from this band called Ramones. That's what I'm thinking. And then as the scene grew, retroactively, people started realizing who was the reason for that.
Yeah.
Like the one that they're all paying their homage to.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people would say, oh, I love pop punk. Like, oh, Blink-182 were the reason I love pop punk. They thinking that they were the ones who, I mean, they redefined a lot, don't get me wrong. But they would also say, no, it's not us. We were influenced by bands like Screeching Weasel and like Pennywise, etc. And then they might trace all that back eventually to the Ramones. But Blink are heavily influenced by Ramones as well. Even in the new album, they're doing a lot of callback. Even Dance With Me, the whole video clip is a take on a Ramones clip. And so they're obviously heavily influential, but it's really interesting that they didn't even, I don't think they broke gold till like 2014.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And I think a lot of that has to do with, I put Ramones in the same category as Thrasher and Metallica, like Thrasher, the skate brand. It's a brand of clothing that a lot of people will wear, even if they aren't associated with the core product. So like Thrasher, they don't even really care about skateboarding, but a lot of influencers wearing Thrasher gear. So it became like a cool brand. Ramones too. Red Hot Chili Peppers to some extent, but a lot of people know Red Hot Chili Peppers songs anyway. But Metallica as well. They're associated with the cultural values of that, graphics and visual.
So sorry, do you mean people will buy a Ramones t-shirt or they'll dress in that style without actually
100%.
much? Yeah,
because they see an influencer wearing that brand and they go, I want to be associated with the similar cultural values as what that artist, so that influencer is wanting to be associated with. It's like the band has transcended music and become a set of cultural values that a lot of people by wearing Ramones gear can identify with, you know?
So just coming back to the idea of this being the blueprint for pop punk, this is something I read in a review by Stephen Erlewine, where he said, it's all about speed, hooks, stupidity, and simplicity. And it's like, you can hear that basically summarizes.
I was going to say, so many pop punk albums you could summarize with the same type of thing.
Yeah. And there's so many aspects of this that are just laying the groundwork for pop punk.
Yeah.
Short songs, combining, fast, downstrumming, distorted guitars with like 50s, 60s pop vocals like the Beach Boys.
Yeah, Beach Boys. I definitely got a lot of Beach Boys in this album for sure.
It's just like that's what would become pop punk.
Yep. And also like ironic humor lines, weird stuff, like satire, like to when kind of shock value. It would have been total shock value at the time.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that they say. We'll talk about when we get to the songs. But I've got a note here saying it's 14 songs and it's under 30 minutes. I said it's Sam's wet dream. This is what you live for. Half an hour of power. You saw 14 songs. I went, it's going to be a long listen. No. Every song's like 2 minutes long, straight to the point. Every song has like 2 lines of lyrics too.
I know.
They have no lyrics to these songs.
Yep.
There's some songs where the lyrics on our guide here, a quarter of it is them counting in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's a quarter of the lyrics. That's how little these lyrics have.
There's only maybe 2 or 3 songs on the whole album where they don't count in. You noticed that?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. But it adds so much like punkness to count into a song, Like
it does.
It's so, oi, kind of thing.
But it's just the idea of doing it every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just got so much energy. But there's so many songs on here that, I mean, even though they have little lyrics, they do a lot with little lyrics. And I think that might be the reason a lot of people respect it too. Because I didn't know it had so little lyrics. So I looked at the guide, I never felt like anything was lacking in the songs. Like, oh, you just keep saying the same line over and over again.
And somehow the lyrics are poignant. Like they just choose like single lines that kind of convey
really
something really like concisely.
They've just reduced all the, like with cooking, just reducing everything out, and they're just left with the pure what they're looking for.
How many songs on this album are in the same key?
I think this, look, I'll get to my thoughts about the album later. This whole album sounds like one song, and I love it. And I love albums that sound like one song.
We've said that about Does This Look Infected?
Yes, that's
it's
another
in the
really
same
good point.
kind of vein.
Yeah, same type of thing where the whole album fits it. I also think Define the Great Line by Under Oath.
Oh, yeah.
It's sounds like one giant song. Especially if you like the song, you're in for a good time. If you don't, sorry, the album's not for you. But I love it. I think it's really, really good. Alrighty, so Blitzkrieg Bop. What do you got?
I got a flame.
I got a flame too, dude. Well done. That's it. We're starting with a double flame.
that.
I just guessed it. I was confident that we're both beginning with a flame.
When you went up then, I was like, oh, imagine if I didn't go with the flame.
It's like the perfect pop punk song. I mean, I'm not saying it's the perfect, but it's a perfect pop punk song. Like it does everything you need it to do. It's like 50 years old now or something, and it's still so good.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like the OG of like bangers to start an album.
Yeah. Yes.
Like we've spoken about a number of albums so far where it's like, how good is the first song? Like this keeps happening.
Did we mention that in the draft? I don't think any of us took
Blitzkrieg
Bop.
We didn't.
Oh, what if that's
a miss actually.
Yeah, some other team snapped that up and they're winning the league at the moment. They're leading the league. Rookie of the year.
Oh, actually, you know what? I think I mentioned it in the honorable mentions.
Yeah, right. Give yourself some credit on the way out.
Thank you.
Sure. Mop up whatever's left.
How good is the that like just having the hey ho?
Yes.
Like it's got that anthemic vibe that you could just imagine. Like if you're at a show, that just brings everyone in.
Oh yeah.
Like,
That's what I'm like imagining seeing them live. I just kept thinking, because it's an older sounding recording, which sounds more like a live performance than it does an actual studio polished album.
Yes.
So I just kept thinking about, how good would this be live?
Yes.
In some sweaty bar, everyone in leather jackets. It's way too hot to be wearing them. And
when you say it sounds like a live, it's got that sort of vibe to the recording. Do you think that it was recorded that way?
Maybe. Well, they recorded it for like $6,500 or something.
Yeah.
It was pretty cheap how it was done. And maybe
over a really short amount of time. So maybe it was.
I mean, when I was recording my albums back in like the early 2000s, that was still a very viable recording style, which was everybody jammed together and then track the vocals later.
Yeah.
But then it became a thing of like production of get everything right separately because everything became really produced. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is just live. Everyone just rocking out together. It has that cohesive energy.
For sure. Which may explain all the counting in.
Maybe, because they're actually just jamming it out. We've solved our own problem once. Good on us. I said it's an interesting straight drum beat though. It's not like it's it's like right on beat.
It's got such a drivey feel to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's which is strange because if you describe to someone an album that influenced pop punk and stuff, their biggest track, you might expect it to have a recognizable pop punk beat. But it's almost like this is more like a drivey like rock beat.
Yes.
I just didn't expect it. I knew the song well, but when I heard it, I was like, for some reason I would think it'd be like like match the beat.
Yes.
But it doesn't, just stays on the start. And that works better. Like, even though you're not matching it. Yeah.
Chord progression. Simple, but perfect.
Yeah. It's just
three chords.
1, 4, 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a song later in this where it's like, it made me laugh so much because they can only do so much with those chords.
Yeah.
They just play it backwards and it's like, that'll do it. Like, let's do the same thing, but sort of backwards.
Yeah.
So what is interesting about this is that, well, first of all, on a positive note, I love how pop and easy to sing along with it is. Like, the verses are so catchy and the way the pre-chorus is moved. For an opening track on a debut album in the 70s when this genre didn't exist, this is like musical genius. Like, to have such a perfectly written pop, like easily lovable and recognizable and sing-alongable song. That's what I mean by pop. For them to do that, they've nailed this. It's really, really cool. What's interesting though is that Blitzkrieg being a German war lyric, there's a lot of like controversy about this album, or at least stories behind that. There's a lot of war and Germany themes within the lyrics of this album. So what's interesting is that according to genius.com, and there's a word here that I probably can't say on YouTube, but I'm sure you guys know, it's, let's say, the bad guys from World War II, right? Is that fair enough? But it says several of the band members, this is the words that genius.com has said, several of the band members had connections to the bad guys of World War II party.
I think you've misread it.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, I mean, I hope so.
Yeah, I think at least one of them grew up in Germany,
right?
And I think a couple of them might have been Jewish. I'm not sure.
That's what I was going to say. I thought I've just that kind of came back as like they're Jewish, but they have connections to it.
Yeah, so they've obviously been, or at least whoever was writing the lyrics to this song and some of the other songs as well, was obviously influenced by, I guess, that period in history and perhaps their personal experiences
they might have
or experiences of their family members as well.
Their family members may have been affected by it. Oh, right. So it's connections to, not connections to.
I think that was poorly worded, and we can.
No, it's my interpretation of it. That's I understand what you mean now. Because I was like, when I saw that, I was like, huh? Like, and also, why would they just come out and say that? Because they have a song later in the album, which is really interesting, that straight up says that they are one of them, one of the bad guys, we'll say, just to avoid the term.
Yeah.
And the label actually said, we don't want that to run. Did you know this? About this?
Yes.
They said, you cannot have on your debut album you saying that you are part of that party.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was really confused by that. We'll talk about it when we get to the song.
Yeah.
But, and I was like also confused because I was wondering, is it satire? Like, obviously it is, but what are they doing it for? We'll talk about it later. But that's the thing is that when I saw that line saying they had ties to it, I was like, but that line was ironic, wasn't it? Like, what do you mean they had ties to it? Like, to me, it was really kind of confusing, but I understand. Had connections to it.
Yeah.
English. It's tricky to learn. But no, so it's really interesting that there are so many, because that's what confused me is that there is such a war theme on this, especially using German war language. Because Blitzkrieg means lightning.
I think so. Lightning war.
Lightning war or something.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
And then, I never knew that when I first heard this song, but doing the book club, reading, the meanings behind it, you can get to the depth of it.
Yeah. And it's an interesting kind of like irony as well when it's like using the word, like, I guess, blitzkrieg and bop implying like a dance or that sort of thing. And it's like the song is kind of like on its face, it's about kids going out and tearing it up, so to speak.
Yeah, I think the way that I see it is that this album challenged me a bit because maybe this is what it feels like when you don't understand pop punk humor at all and you hear Blink make dick jokes and you're like, huh? Like, why are they joking about that on stage? But you and I grew up around that. We get it. We understand the whole irony and the humor behind it. At least I hope it's irony, Anyway, but with this, like, I'm checking. With this, I don't quite get the humor if it is. So maybe it's just real edgy jokes or whatever. But I was always like, I don't know. I feel like it's just a little bit out of reach for me because I don't fully understand the context. So I had to learn the context to understand why it's funny or whatever. And maybe this is just like, how you have like edgy teenagers make jokes now about edgy topics.
Yeah. Okay.
This could be the irony of a Jewish guy in a band singing about something like this and making the statements that he made. And that's what made it punk, like standing up against like a fight against fascism kind of thing through irony.
Yes.
I don't fully know. So I don't really want to, I don't know. I talk about it. I don't want to make too many like definitive statements because I could be totally wrong. This is just my interpretation of it all.
I didn't see it as there's satire and irony there.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, is it kind of like an anti-war sentiment in the idea of it's the idea of like people being brainwashed and kind of like being like called to arms by like, we've got the hey ho that we start with, which is kind of like a catch cry. This idea that people that can then be kind of like subsumed by that, and then they'll kind of just follow the rest of the pack and be completely led in that sense. I mean, the opening line is they form a straight line.
Yes.
And so it's kind of
very military.
Yes. And I think it's just like an anti-war satire in that sense.
Yeah. This song didn't challenge me that much, but when you take this song amongst the whole context of the album and in the last song, I'll bleep it, but he says like, I'm a baby. Like that's, for him to say I am one, that's the part that challenged me. Like, why would you do that?
Yes. So, I can understand what you mean in relation to that for sure.
Well, when you have that statement in the end of the album to kind of contextualize this track, it changes the whole vibe of it. That's why I was like, huh? Like I was so confused at certain points going, why would you say that?
Yeah.
Like, especially back then. I mean, people make jokes like that now, which are already quite edgy, and we're so far removed from the atrocities of World War II, but they're making it kind of only 20 years later. It's kind of interesting, but apparently a lot of it was to do with the irony of a Jewish frontman in a punk rock band making statements like that.
It's more powerful in that
It could be
sense,
the Blink dick jokes of 1970, whenever, when this came out,
It's funny though. Did you see this quote in the document where Joey says, I hate to blow the mystique, but we really liked bubblegum music and we really liked the Bay City Rollers. Their song Saturday Night had a great chant in it, so we wanted a song with a chant in it.
Yep.
And so it's like maybe there actually isn't a whole lot of like meaning behind the song, or at least maybe it's kind of like came out like maybe they had the foundations for the song, and then maybe there was some kind of aspects to it that were kind of added in.
Yeah, it's interesting that because there's always that discussion, or at least that point, not really discussion, but people say when the discussion is the point, is that if you involve yourself or dive into a really deep philosophical, like pull apart, thematic, contextual, like, dissection of someone's work, and you come to these like, dramatic conclusions, and then the band come out and go, we didn't mean that. We just were writing about like nothing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you can also kind of make the argument that like all creative expression is like the unearthing of the subconscious. So that could always be in them of like the message they're trying to say. Or maybe from, who's the frontman?
I've never been entirely sure.
Right. Okay. So sometimes I don't know who's who. So I don't know if Joey's the frontman or whatever, but maybe the guitarist is like, remember, we always wanted that hey ho, let's go part. But then whoever was writing the song was like, you know what? We can make this work as part of like a military thing. That's what it reminds me of. And then piggybacking that idea, it's like you, Mr. Squiggle It. Yeah. Not many people know who that is. There's a puppet who could like make drawings out of like, a few lines, but you could take stuff and blend it together, turn it into something.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's possibly what could have happened.
All right. Beat on the Brat.
Beat on the Brat. I give this a great.
Okay. I said Crown.
Oh, okay.
I said Crown for this.
I get that. I totally get that. This is the song that I was saying to you when we were setting up. Why is it that the songs I rate great are the ones that are in my mind? Because the whole time I was setting up, I just had Beat on the Brat in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beat on the Brat. No wonder I thought they were from England, because that sounds real British.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's just so, this is going to come up multiple times throughout this episode, but
because it sounds like the same song throughout the whole episode.
But it's just like hooky.
Yeah.
Like the hook is just, it just gets in your head.
Yeah.
And,
for anyone who hasn't heard the song, get comfortable because I'll read you out the lyrics. Beat on the brat with a baseball bat. Oh yeah. What can you do with a brat like that? Always on your back. What can you lose? The end. That's the whole song.
Yeah.
Yet they make the whole song be so catchy and so sing-alongable, but it's just like Blitzkrieg Bob had barely any lyrics, but more than this. Yeah. And like by like one more 2 lines. But this is literally just 2 lines on the page. But it's just, this is so catchy, this song. I think to me, it's just a great song. I can understand it being a crown. I nearly considered a crown for this, but to me, it's not. Maybe the problem is that I just came from a flame. Then this wasn't as much as a flame, so it must be great. It might be a crown. Maybe if I sat with it a bit longer, it might be, but I think this is just a really solid, great song.
Yeah.
I've got other songs on this album that I gave crowns to that I think probably deserve it more.
Yeah, okay.
But
interesting. Because I think I can understand why you've given this a great, but it's just, when you hear a song and it's like, yeah,
100%. I do.
Yeah,
I think that.
For me, it's, when that palm muted guitar comes in, it's got the drivey rhythm and that vocal hook.
Yeah, and then, oh yeah. Yeah. It's very rock sounding. Like this song sounds more rock. I guess it's like punk rock.
Yep.
But it's very rock sounding song. I said as the genre was just finding its sound, you can tell that it didn't really have the same guardrails on it that it later got. So this is a bit more rocky.
Yep.
Which I think is good, of course.
And I think you can definitely hear the influence of this song on like what would become kind of like that indie rock sound of kind of like the 2000s as well.
Yeah, definitely. Because it would influence so much more outside of punk rock and pop punk as well. This note that you have on the side of the document cracked me up, where it says, Beat on the Brat was said by Joey to have origins relating to the upper class of New York City. Sounds like profound and deep, right?
Yeah.
DD, however, explained that the song was about how Joey saw her mother going after a kid with a bat in his apartment building's lobby and wrote a song about it. So it goes from like this beat on the brat with a baseball bat is in like the rich like beat up the poor to, no, I literally just saw a lady run around with a baseball bat. And it's so funny knowing that it's Joey who said, it's about the, the classism and the hierarchy within like the broader society. And DD's like, no, what didn't you say that it was about like a lady chasing a kid who was like literally about beating a bratty kid with a baseball bat?
I think what Joey was talking about was seeing like a rich upper class kid at the park. And
okay, right.
Like a bratty kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
So he was a beat on that brat.
Yes, a specific person.
Yeah, but this is the song. I mean, if I had never heard this album before, Blitzkrieg Bop would be the one in my head all the time. But I know that song so well that this song's really caught me. And I find myself just a beat on the brat. Because it's so catchy. It's so good. Alrighty, so Judy is a punk.
I said Crown for this
I said Crown for this one.
Yeah.
Yep, I love this song. I like it better than Beat on the Brat. Just a smidge.
Yeah,
so like that's what made me like, this has to be a Crown.
Yeah.
This is such a Beatles sound.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can
especially in the I don't know why. Dun, 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 dun. It just sounds so much like the Beatles. How funny is it in this song that he says second verse just like the first and then goes into the thing again? It's like they're self-aware that they have such small amounts of lyrics in their songs.
Again, it's only like 1:30 though. It's just like
do any of them feel short?
Verse, chorus.
There's some songs that I feel like I'm like, oh, there's one song in particular that I was like, oh, I feel like this song's dragging a little bit. And I looked at the time, it's not even 2 minutes long. Like they just they make a 1.5 minute song sound like it's 3 minutes. Like but not in a way that is boring. It's exactly how long the song needs to be.
It's how long it needs to be is a good point. Like they just know this is all we need to do.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next song.
You know how with like punk rock bands and pop punk bands, they write those short, fast, loud songs designed to be short, fast, loud songs. So when you hear them, you know they're going to be heaps of energy within 30 seconds and then done. This is like normal sounding songs, but they only need to be 1:30 and they don't have many lyrics. It's not like they don't have any lyrics and they're short because they don't have a second verse, so they never go to the second verse. They just do a chorus to the bridge straight away. They go back to a verse again and repeat the lines. That's like magic how they're doing it. How are they fitting so much into such short period of time and not be, worn out?
It's almost like you think, you read the lyrics and you're like, hang on a second. They repeated their vocals.
Yeah.
They pull the wool over their eyes.
Exactly. It's like that. I don't know. It's I think there's a lot more to this album than people may give it credit for, who may hear this and go, what? They're just like 3 chords, really simple lyrics. There's barely anything in it. Like they're not seeing the genius in the simplicity. And because it's just, I mean, some of the albums I've done, I'm like, I don't get why that's so defining, but I can see it with this one.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, more ties to Berlin, another German reference, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But genius in the simplicity. I mean, that's something that, people say about bands like Blink as well.
Yes, that's true.
You can just,
But then so many people will dismiss that because they think that it's not complicated enough, therefore not good. But then you look at music, you got some incredibly talented musicians. The more technical you get, the less people listen to it, I feel.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, the people that listen to it, who want to listen to it, appreciate that. There's so many bands that I listen to that are so musically complex and defined that they're just a display of like music technicality. And I love bands like that. But they don't have the same fan base that a simpler band does. And that's not because simple music always equates to a bigger audience. You have to figure out simple music to do it properly. There's a famous line in copywriting, I think, that says on brevity. And it was essentially saying like, I would have written a shorter letter, but I didn't have the time. I think that's a really good way of thinking about stuff like this as well. Yep. It's like, it takes a long time to be good at simplicity.
Yes.
This might have come naturally to them, but either way, they've nailed it. Like there's no denying the outcome.
It helps, I think, as well when you're innovating. Like you can, if you were to do something like this now, everyone would say,
oh, good point. Yeah.
Like being simple is not really a good thing because it's something that's been done already. But for them, obviously, like this was so innovative. And so they could afford to keep it this simple. And
yeah. It's like Johnny Cash. He's one of my favorite music artists of all time. Like he'd be in my top 2 probably. And his music is quite simple, but it's so perfect in its simplicity. Yeah. Yet a lot of people dismiss Johnny Cash and go, oh, it's just boring country music. And it's like, could not be further from the truth. Like what he did at that era, the types of things he was writing about when everyone was, Elvis is singing That's All Right Mama, and he's talking about his girlfriend leaving at night to go cheat on him, and he's figured it out and he's going to like break up with her and she's going to be sad about it. Yeah. Like that's so deep compared to what people were talking about at that time. But I said that this song, Judy is a Punk, it's just such a catchy and solid sound. I said, I love how this album just has a sound about it and just sits in it. The whole, like so far, it's just been, they don't have many lyrics, but maybe the whole song is the whole album is one giant song.
Yep. Perfect combination of great melody and energy.
Yes.
In like one nice little package.
You know, it's a good song where I just went to say, I think the verse is my favorite part of the song. And I'm like, but the chorus is so good too. Like, I can't really pick a winner over the two.
Yeah.
But I love the verses of this. It's just sitting on a rockin' thing with the melodies and the way that the lyrics come in.
It's a bit like Beat on the Brat though, for me, where it's like, you just know a crown when you hear it.
Yeah,
and for me, it's like, this is better than a great.
Yeah.
So, I want to be your boyfriend.
Finally, you asked. I gave this a great.
Okay. I said good for this one.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Does this sound like The Cure to you?
I haven't listened to much of The Cure, so I wouldn't know. This is so Beatles to me.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like it could be a Beatles song.
Yeah.
There's a song on Dookie as well that they did that I said sounded like it could be a Beatles song. Like you could blindfold
me. I don't remember which one that was.
Yeah, I can't remember, and be like, why would it matter if I saw? I was like, you could blindfold me, and as in I couldn't see who's performing it. It just sounded like in my mind it made sense. But again, literally, like 2 lines pretty much of lyrics, like 2 little sections. So they made such an impact with 2 lines of lyrics per song. Like, because if you describe this album to people, it's 14 songs, 29 minutes, barely any lyrics, same kind of 4 chords, same kind of dynamics and sound, you'd be like, I don't know if I want to listen to that. It sounds like it could be a bit fatiguing after a while, but it's so good.
There's enough variety to keep it interesting though. And this one is a nice little change of pace.
Yes.
This has a distinct poppiness that the others, even though they're really melodic and catchy, this one has more of a pop sound to it, I think.
Yeah. I said, is this their ballad? Not like
it's got a bit of that kind of sound. Yeah.
Millencolin, Penny Bridge Pioneers, the ballad.
Yeah.
Like, is this their ballad of the album?
Yeah.
Yeah. It says here that it was written solely by Tommy and pays homage to the love songs by pop music acts of the 1960s, which makes sense because that's where I'm probably hearing the 60s style Beatles.
Yeah, for sure.
But also, I love now hearing the other quote about saying we're not going to make any we're not going to lie about it. We love bubblegum music. They seem to be really unashamed of the fact that they love pop music, and that's why they're writing the songs that they did, and that's why that they found something new. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, you would think that that it would be edgier or more political or something like that, but they're not. They're just like, we love pop music and we made a cool punk rock album.
Yep. Another way though that this, in that kind of vein, subtly influenced pop punk. Like, this is a love song.
Yes. Yeah, good point, actually. Yeah.
Punk typically didn't do that, but pop punk certainly was all about love songs.
When you said that.
Or songs about, love and relationships and that sort of thing.
Yeah, you said that a few episodes ago, that punk was typically about more political stuff and pop punk was more about relationships.
Well, not necessarily political stuff, but just like not necessarily songs about...
Not necessarily songs, that's what you said. Not necessarily songs about
girls,
relationships and girls and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're right. I'd never really thought about it like that. You sometimes have pop punk bands do more like songs that aren't about relationships, of course, and they can do more political style stuff. But then you got punk bands and it would be more strange if they did a love song randomly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're more likely to do like a brotherhood song of love versus like, a relationship and a girl, or especially like a girl broke up with me. Then again, when bands started really leaning into I used to say that like pop punk bands were like, my girlfriend broke up with me, but I don't really care because I've got my friends. Yet emo bands were like, my girlfriend broke up with me and I do care about it. And that really connected with a lot of teenagers.
Yep.
There we go. We're figuring out all the all the different bands and what they do.
For me, I like the change of pace of the song, but I don't enjoy it as much as the other ones. And I think maybe part of that is the kind of like repetitiveness of this song maybe holds it back more than the repetitiveness of some of the other songs, because this one's got
like the music didn't carry it.
Yeah, because it's a little bit slower, and so it does feel like it drags a little bit more. Whereas
it does, yeah.
The previous songs are equally as repetitive, but there's something about the energy of them that kind of gives the song momentum that you never feel like it's dragging.
That's a good point. I can fully understand that and appreciate it. I wouldn't argue that. Personally, I just found that it's a good change of pace, but still has the Ramones-esque kind of like sound to it. So it doesn't sound like it's too different. Doesn't sound like they're trying something too weird. So yeah, I just think it's a great, especially a great 4th track too. I mean, maybe you could do it a bit later, but I just feel like you got 3 upbeat rocky tracks and then just like a love song and then back to kind of, I mean, the next one is it's a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so on that note, Chainsaw.
Yes. I said great.
Oh, okay. I said good for this one.
Did you?
So we swapped. Yeah.
Speaking of the contrast from that song to this song with that chain.
Startles you.
The saw at the start of this.
That was the worst Chainsaw impression I ever did.
It's awful though, don't you reckon?
It's terrible. I had it on in the car and Julia was in the back and it finished that beautiful song and then did the chainsaw. She's like, oh, that's a really yuck sound or whatever. Yeah. But it is funny when you see that it's tied into the horror movies, and there's a bit of themes of that throughout this album of horror movies.
There's a couple of songs that are about that.
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I read something on Genius about someone made a comment about the saw sound, about how it's not actually a chainsaw.
Oh right,
and like they chose to like make that. Like, it seems like such a finicky point, but like they were like, "Come on, guys, it's not a chainsaw sound; it's like a bandsaw."
Oh, right. Okay, I thought you were trying to say that when they recorded it's to sound like a chainsaw, but really they used tin and like a stick or something like that and made the sound like a Foley thing. Actually, it's not really a chainsaw. It always bothers me that they say chainsaw when it's actually a Benford 39 bandsaw.
Well, you know what bothers
Benford?
Thanks, Tim the Toolman.
Home Improvement reference, yeah.
How good was that show?
I know, it's bang.
Yeah.
2 shows for the price of one. You get to watch you get so immersed within their Tool Time show.
You do.
I love that one. I've been watching through that more recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's really, really good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's very funny. This song was known, when you look it up, stuff about this, it has been referred to, I saw multiple times, maybe not with these exact words, but with similar words, as blisteringly fast, which is really interesting. That's what people were saying about this when it's like Chainsaw, the blisteringly fast Ramones song. And it's not as fast as punk got by any means, especially for D beats.
But by comparison to
of course,
the state of music then.
That's my point, is saying that this is what was considered blisteringly fast as a rock song.
Speaking of things that bother you, does it irritate you? Oh, no, I mean the guy on Genius who was bothered by the chainsaw, bandsaw reference.
That doesn't bother me. Other things bother me.
Yeah. You've got other hang-ups.
Do you know what bothers me?
Well, I'm going to tell you something that bothers me, all right? Can you just listen to me for a second?
I know what bothers you.
Now is my turn.
Interrupting you. So now it's my turn.
Does it?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I have an idea for this.
Seriously?
We can whinge about the stuff we whinge about. We need to do a segment called
Sam's chance to...
20-second therapy, like 2020 surgery, where we have 20 seconds to get it off our chest.
Did you come up with that?
Yeah.
That's good.
I thought about it.
Well, mine would be that you're always interrupting me.
Do you want to have first? I didn't interrupt you. Do you want to do the... We'll do it now. 20-second therapy.
I love the vocal effect. Oh, I've told you what it is. I've had my piece. I don't need 20 seconds.
You haven't... Did I interrupt you?
Yeah.
Oh. But no, you said there was another thing.
Oh, this thing. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Anyway, the moment has seriously passed.
Yeah.
Does it bother you that he pronounces massive...
All right, my turn. It's 20 seconds. You get 20 seconds of therapy and that's my turn.
Anyway, does it bother you that he pronounces massacre as massacre?
Does he? I didn't even notice that.
Didn't you pick that up?
No.
Yeah.
Massacre.
It's like massacre or massacre.
Right.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I got to listen for that now. Massacre. Yeah.
This is such a dark concept for a song.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
His girlfriend is going to be killed by maybe Leatherface or some other like serial killer.
Yep.
And he's like...
I don't care.
I don't care.
Yeah. They're going to take me. I don't care.
So, such an original, like, just like an interesting idea. Like, I'm going to write a song about this.
Do you think there were many parents that forbade it for their kids, being like, you're not getting that album because they talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre and people dying, and it's got the the German war party
100%.
on it as well.
And maybe this
themes.
is another reason why it wasn't commercially successful. Like, it just wasn't palatable for... Yeah, I'm talking about like the 70s as well.
How desensitized are we that this is like, oh yeah. Like back then it would be like, oh my goodness, like the themes on this album.
Yeah. What an interesting
They
moment.
play I Want to Be Your Boyfriend to their parents, and their parents are like, oh, this is a lovely album. It's skip before the next song comes on. We've all been there, but it's with Mark Tom and Travis show trying to skip before the all the voice stuff comes on, but it's the exact same thing. Give me 20-second therapy.
What? Seriously? You've got something?
I got one.
All right. Take it.
You got to do the intro.
20 seconds. No. 20-second therapy.
All right, count from 20. I can't stand people that reverse park into car parks when you don't need to do it. That pisses me off so much, because when you go to reverse into a car park, like, and anyone listening now, if you do it, be better. Because if you have to reverse into a car park, you are stopping everyone that is waiting to move forward while you take longer to reverse into a car park so you can get out quicker when there's likely going to be no one around for you to get out, whatever. If you reverse and no one's there, then fair enough. But if you're like doing it to when there's obviously people trying to get apart, it's pissing me off.
Your 20 seconds is up.
No, I'm not even done yet. Because if you just drive in...
It's 20-second therapy.
It's quick. Not, and then you reverse out.
You haven't paid for more than 20 seconds, mate.
Sure,
get out of my office. I've got someone else coming in.
Fair enough. I'll remember that next time you're doing it.
I do that.
You reverse into car parks.
But, I give people a little wave. I do it. Give them a little wave.
Okay, look, I'll at first I was going to say it's not enough, but you know what? If you get a bit of a wave, that's nice. No one's ever done that, really.
I feel like there's something disarming about just like give me a little gentle wave at people when you're doing something like in the car that's going to be pissing them off.
Yes, 100%.
Like I always think of someone will let you in and you wave at them, but then sometimes someone will just cut you off and they'll give you a little wave.
And I didn't let you in.
Oh,
exactly.
They've waved.
Exactly. You're like, but I can't be mad because you waved.
You don't get your opportunity to have your peace with them as well because they're in another car driving away.
Exactly. That's the thing though, is that also when you do something for someone and they don't wave, that is the most infuriating thing.
Yeah.
Like if you stop and you let someone in and be nice and they just like look at you and then just pull in, you're like, excuse me, like where's my way?
Anyway.
That's traffic chat.
What was the link to this?
You were whinging about the way you said massacre, and we started whinging about the things that make us mad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I realized it was just an opportunity to vent about random stuff. At least Mum was connected to the song.
This was the song, by the way. I would say, sorry to cut you off because I know it offends you so much. I didn't know you talking. This is the song that said made me really want to see him in a dive bar.
Oh yeah,
Was Chainsaw. I was like, I would love to see them.
Yes.
That was when I first had that thought of that would be the best time to see him, would be in some sweaty dive bar.
Yeah.
In the 70s.
Imagine what the crowds were doing too. Like,
yeah.
Because you would move to this differently to what you would have moved to a lot of like the rock music of the 70s too. And like,
you'd be coming from that era where like the specific type of dancing and stuff, they try to bring that to this to see if it worked. And then, really weird.
People like going to these shows must have just been thinking, what the fuck is this? Like, yeah.
What about the people who just happened to be in the room while this band started playing and their fans turned up?
Ramones. That sounds good. Let's go and have a look at that band.
They've all got the last name Ramones. It must be like a happy little family band. Just like, let's see them perform. They do this beautiful song about wanting to be your boyfriend.
We saw the Jackson 5 and that was great. What an interesting moment for the culture as well, that you've got a song about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which was obviously like massively influential.
When was that? When did that come out?
That came out in about 74, I want to say.
It was topical at the time that they did this.
Yeah, it only been out for like a couple of years.
Oh, right, okay.
And was massive in terms of like the horror movie genre and specifically like the slasher subgenre.
Yes.
And you've got a band that's writing this song that is like paving the way, like cementing punk rock that's also talking about this other super influential art form at the time.
I just realized
amazing.
He goes from I want to be your boyfriend to she's going to get killed by a chainsaw guy, and I don't care.
I hadn't connected that.
Yeah, like it's the flippancy of love, we'll say.
Yeah. Which is surely deliberate. They chose to have those two songs follow. Yeah.
Maybe it's like, we'll be a bit lovey, but we can't get too lovey.
Yeah. Love the bridge. Real Beach Boys vocal vibes in the bridge of this song.
There's so much Beach Boys on this.
Yeah.
And I thought I was a bit weird for picking that, but hearing you say that, I'm like, oh, it's fine for me to feel that way.
But you hear people talk about that in the context of pop punk, that it's punk music, but it's got like that kind of Beach Boys style of vocal inspiration or influence.
Yes. Beach Boys was so much more influential than I ever gave them credit for when I was younger.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now I want to sniff some glue.
Yeah, I gave this one a great.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a great song. Like, you know, as you say, some songs are crowns. Like, this is a great song.
Yeah.
And by no means is that saying it falls short of a crown. It's just some songs are just great songs. And this is such a great song.
It's a perfect topic for a punk song as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's a song about boredom.
Yeah.
And it's
like apathy and like
specifically
it's almost
like
nihilistic in a way. It's
And you couldn't have encapsulated it better than like, now I want to sniff some glue just because I've got nothing else
but also,
better to do.
Now I want to sniff some glue. Now I want to have something to do. It's more than just sniff some glue. Like, I'm so bored with life. I want to do something that makes me feel alive. But in a way that isn't like
something to do.
Yeah, but in a way that isn't like I want to go drink alcohol or something. It's like whatever I have available to me at the lowest possible punk style form. I said it was so ahead of its time with that punk rock apathy, which really got lent into later, especially in the 90s and stuff, like even on Dookie and albums like that. But this is a little bit more
that's a really good point.
Nihilistic.
So much like you can so see the influence of these guys on Green Day in particular.
Yeah, definitely. Because it starts with, as I said, like that whole thing of like, we're just sitting around, kids, we're bored, we've got nothing to do. This is pre-smartphones. Everyone's got sitting there just scrolling themselves to death. This is just such a catchy song. Like I don't know. We should be really hitting like filler songs of like, oh, this is just, sometimes you swing and sometimes you hit, sometimes you swing, sometimes you miss. But even like, everyone's so iconic in its own way of the little story it tells and what it does.
Again, though, it's just 3 choruses.
Yeah.
In terms of the structure of the song.
Yeah, right.
It's just,
they count in at the end on this one too, which is interesting.
At the end.
They don't count at the start. They're just so anthemic. Like everything they write just turns into like a punk rock kind of anthem.
Yes.
Which just makes it I don't know. It's like this album's like really, it's not head bangy, but it's not head boppy, but it's just got that like old school like kind of sound to it. But the whole way through, you just can imagine like apathetic teenagers listening to this in their room, like in the 70s, finding their, using this music to channel their like a form of cathartic processing of emotions, you know?
But that kind of drivey beat that you're talking about kind of moves you a little bit. Like it makes you want to like stamp your foot.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's got that
you
vibe. You can't help but I was thinking it's like head bangy, but head bangy is obviously a bit more extreme.
Yeah, but in a similar way. Like it affects you in a similar way.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like head boppy. I don't know the right word. It's somewhere between the two.
Yeah.
I love how it says, I hope no one thinks we really sniff glue. That's the quote they gave. It just is so like Spinal Tap-esque, you know, or something just in the studio with a cigarette, just going, I hope no one actually thinks we really sniff glue, which adds more to like the British humor of it, I guess.
I like that you get guitar riffs as well for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together with that. Yeah. I do really like this one, which is good. I think that's it. Sometimes when you get great songs, you're like, great, because it's not quite a crown. But then you get songs like this where you're like, this is a great song and it's all it needs to be.
Yep.
Yeah, really, really cool. Alrighty. So I don't want to go down to the basement.
Why not?
Do you know what sucks?
Such a Jason joke.
Yeah, thank you. I'm rubbing off on you physically and whatever the other one is metaphorically. I hate how Australian homes don't have basements. I get so jealous when I see American houses and they're like, oh, we'll just put it down in the basement. They have so much space to do stuff with.
And attics. We don't really do attics.
We don't have efficient use of space for sure. What's going on there? Because imagine luckily we built this recording studio. Like, that's amazing. But if you had a basement, it'd be more accessible to have like a band practice area or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, what'd you give this one?
I said good.
A good.
Oh.
I give this a crown.
Oh, a crown.
Yeah, I love this song.
Interesting.
Yeah. This is for what we just talked about, what we loved about the last song with the vibe and everything. This has more of it.
Interesting.
In my opinion, yeah.
Tell me.
I said, I really love this one, particularly the melody and the verses.
Okay.
It just has that, it moves around the chords really nicely and it just has a vibe. Like, it's, do you know when you put on a playlist on like whatever streaming service you use, say Spotify, for example, but they're usually songs connected by vibes so that you can just put it on, it just keeps a mood consistent in your house.
Yeah.
This is like that. It's like a playlist of this sound. So if you love it, you will love this album. If you don't, then maybe you don't. But this, and there's a point I'll make about that later. But this to me is like the best version of everything. Oh, am I boring now? The best version of this. Sorry, I'm agree with most of your points, but that particular one I found boring. This has the most of that, in my opinion, of just the vibe tracks.
Okay.
Not like overly, because some of the other songs have more catchy choruses, that kind of thing. Like Blitzkrieg Bot, for example.
Yes.
Even like Beard on the Brad is a little bit more iconic in the like recognizable. This to me is just a vibey banger.
Yeah, okay.
That's the way I see it. But this is like where I said Beach Boys vibes in this one. I think because of the verse melodies,
Yeah, all right. I didn't pick that up on this one necessarily. I didn't find this one as hooky. Maybe that's why it was only a good, like there wasn't as much about this that kind of like grabbed me.
Perhaps. Yeah, right. Also, maybe as much as we're saying that it's all really good, perhaps the sound can eventually be a bit fatiguing without you realizing. Not to the point that it offends you, but where you go, I've heard a little bit of this before, so it's not grabbing you as much. But maybe if you just heard it by itself, you'd be like, oh, that's pretty cool.
I do really like in this song, the bass is almost like the lead instrument.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, and I think that has to do with the mix.
Yeah.
Because the bass is actually in the left channel and the guitar's in the right, which is strange because usually the bass is in the center.
Sure.
Which is a really Beatles-esque way of doing it. Back in the day, they used to pan the drums to one side. It was more modern music that started moving the drums and the bass to the center.
Yes, okay.
And I read about this album that they drew, like specifically and intentionally drew from like Beatles-esque recording techniques.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe not specifically Beatles-esque. Maybe it was Beatles. I can't remember, but it was that specific style of old school recording, yeah.
Well, it kind of has the effect in this song, I think, of like it sort of sits above the guitars in the mix. Like it stands out really nicely.
Yeah.
And that maybe that's and kind of feels like it's the lead instrument.
Yeah. I wonder if that's intentional or if it could just be a mix thing that just ended up that way. Sometimes that can happen where you go, I just made it that way and then it ends up sounding intentional. But you're right, there's not a lot of guitar riffs in this. So maybe it was the thing that was pulling the attention.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like this one.
I think it's doing the same riff that the guitar's doing. I think they're both doing the same thing, but the bass it feels more distinctive, I guess.
Yeah, but also fuzzy a bit. It's a bit distorted and it kind of fits the guitar as well. So even that has that punk rock sound, but not, it has that punk rock bass sound where it doesn't have a lot of low end. It's more mid-rangey and a bit boxy, but that's what adds that kind of characteristic punk rock bass sound that I think a lot of people tried to copy.
Speaking of their instruments, I read something that the guitarist, the guitar that he recorded this on, he paid like $50 for or something like that. And then I think it got stolen at some point. And so he replaced it with another guitar of the same sort.
Yeah.
That cost him about $200. So we're not talking about like an expensive guitar. It sold at auction in like the 2010s, something like that, like $1 million. Oh
my goodness, of course.
Yeah.
Well,
insane.
There's so many great albums that we've done on like really cheap instruments, like where you don't expect that. You think that if a label is putting so much money into a recording, they'd be like, use top-notch, top quality gear. Like Brian May from Queen, his guitar, apparently he made with his dad when he was really young and just has never replaced it. Still, like you're not tempted ever to be like, I want to start playing a Les Paul
because it's so
or a Strat.
iconic to his sound. Like you're never going to get that sound on something else. And he's got like such a distinctive guitar tone.
Also, I think a lot of that has to do with, I've heard that he uses a coin as a pick. So it has like a really, like a metal coin. I heard that. This is stuff I remember from when I was a kid. I could be wrong about that.
I hadn't heard that one.
A lot of the stuff, I've fact checked everything I've said after, and I don't think I've been blatantly wrong about anything yet, which is pretty good.
I'm going to ask for a fact check of the coin as a pick.
Okay, let's ask.
Greg, can you say that, please?
Does Brian May from Queen, am I leading? Does he use a coin for a guitar pick? I don't know if that was leading.
That is a leading question.
Yeah. Lawyer boy.
Yes. Brian May of Queen uses a coin instead of a conventional guitar pick. More specifically, he uses an old British sixpence.
There you go. I'm 10 for 10 or whatever it may be now because I have not lied yet. As I say, I don't lie. I just say things that I think are true, that I've heard as rumors along the way.
And then get lucky.
I'm going to get fact checked so hard. People are going to be like, you think you haven't said anything wrong yet? Did you hear your opinion on Smash? But no, also, the presidents of the United States of America, they have such interesting instruments. One of them is called like it's like guitar and bass, but they switch the words around because it's like a git bass and or something. I don't know. It's really weird what they end up calling it. Something like that. But it's like guitar with two bass strings on it, and the other one is a bass with 4 guitar strings on it. And yeah, their whole thing is built on they're bought from like pawn shops, really cheap instruments that they just completely like pull apart and use it like tools on. It's like they completely destroy these instruments, but make them into these cool sounding things that are just so iconic.
If ever there was an album where you could get away with and in fact thrive on with like just a cheap trashy guitar, it's like this Ramones album.
Yeah.
Like it's perfect for what they're trying to achieve. All right, Loudmouth.
I gave this one a good.
Okay, I said fine for this one.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Did you think that there were musical elements of this song that were very similar to the previous song?
Yeah, it makes me laugh when this is the song I said earlier where I feel like there's only so much you can do for the 1-4-5 chord progression. I think this goes 1-5-4. It's like, well, have we tried this? And they're playing it backwards. It just doesn't work as well. But I think, it sounds like an extension of the previous song.
Yeah, it does.
By extension, an extension of the entire album, to be honest.
Yeah, but specifically it sounds as though they're like deliberately taking...
the second half of it or something.
Well, there's a section in this song where they're using like the shots where it's like, da-na, in a very similar way to what they used in the previous song, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lyrics are a bit edgy, even though there's like one line in the entire song.
Yeah.
It's a little bit rough. But also there's like no lyrics in this song. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the first quarter of the, the whole entire lyrics. So this one is funny because they really try to move those 3 chords around as much as they can, but they just aren't going to sit with the same. I mean, they could just sat on the same chord progression and just, that happens. People use the same chord progressions over and over again, but it's almost like they're like, we'll start on the first and we'll go, how about 5-4, and it doesn't have the same sound to it. I'm not sure if it's exactly that, but it just makes me laugh. It just sounds like a reversed version. Alrighty. Oh my goodness. Havana Affair. I just realized, is that meant to be like having an affair? Having an affair? Having an affair?
I'd never picked that up.
I just saw that then. I was like, is it like having an affair? Like it's a pun? Or is it Havana? It's obviously Havana, right? That's the place.
Yes.
Havana Affair.
But are they deliberately, is it sort of like a play on words?
Yeah, maybe.
Deliberately. I'm not sure. That is a good point.
So Havana Affair.
I said great.
I said good for this one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Love the concept of the song.
Yeah. Again, just like a bit military-esque. It's like, at least it's to do with like military operations, you could say.
Bad picks.
But it's just when you've had like some really funny throwaway songs, it's like, this one's like a James Bond storyline, It's a bit deeper.
Yes, it does have a James Bond vibe.
Yeah. Not like deeper as in, theme or emotion or something like that. It's more just like the more complicated, more complex, the storyline.
Yeah. Did you think melodically it sounds a bit different, some of the other songs?
Yeah.
There's a different vibe about this song.
Yes.
To some of the other ones.
Yeah, it definitely sounds different. I totally agree. I think a lot of that's to do with the chords, the production, the melodies. There's a lot in this that, I don't know, I wonder if this came later or earlier, or if they considered like the ballady one, I Want to Be a Boyfriend, there's like, let's do something different. But because we are zoomed out in the whole genre, it's still within a quite narrow boundary. It just sounds slightly different. But maybe when you're in that, it's very different. Like this is this one,
okay.
like it sounds so different.
Yep.
I want to take back what I said before about it not being deep thematically, because it's saying here, Havana Affair is about a Cuban man working for the CIA in order to lead a better life as an allegory for the Cuban Missile Crisis in the larger Cold War. So it is way deeper thematically. I was just saying just the story at its surface level. But until I saw that,
I thought
I
you
didn't know
meant
there.
Sorry, I misinterpreted what you said.
Right.
I thought you were talking about, it's interesting on the album, there are some songs that are quite heavier thematically and more intentional in terms of what they're trying to talk about. And then other songs are kind of like about sniffing glue or like...
I meant with this one though that the storyline's more complicated. The idea of it's a Cuban man working for the CIA in order to have a better life. Like it's very, it's not just about a man trying to live a better life. There's layers to it. But it's just complicated. I didn't think it actually had like a metaphor or anything like that. But they're saying it's an allegory for the Cuban Missile Crisis and the larger Cold War, which is interesting. My favorite part of this, though, even after this is going to sound so caveman brain, after like how deep, obviously, the allegory is, like the thematic intention of this song is. My favorite part is the picking the banana when he says that. It's my favorite part. It's so good.
Have you heard the Red Hot Chili Peppers cover?
Do they cover this?
Yeah.
Oh, no,
I don't know if they've ever done a recorded version. They definitely done it live.
Okay.
And the way Anthony Kiedis sings that line is particularly good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Even more emphasized on the banana.
Yeah, because it's so catchy the way he says it. It's so funny how it's such a deep, complex storyline, and it's still one paragraph of lyrics. Like you can, how you're pulling that out of that. Also, there's another song later that it's that they do that, and it's interesting the conclusion that people have come to.
But again, do you need any more?
No, the song doesn't
somehow
leave you wanting.
No, they've conveyed, they've told the story.
Yeah,
and they've conveyed what they want to convey, and they've done it in like,
but also not without being. When you only have a small amount of space, typically people will be very detail oriented to try to get the story across. They're not detail oriented. Like one of they're using a lot of lyric space up or words up with "Hooray for the USA, baby, 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 make me loco, baby, 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 make me mambo." Like it's and picking the banana, which obviously makes sense of the storyline, but still, I mean the other ones do too. But
yeah,
what is it in the chorus that you hear on the beat one? It's like boom. It's like a timpani or a gong or something.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's
really interesting though.
It's a strange production choice, but you said this song sounds different. Maybe they're just approaching it as a totally different song because that is you don't hear anything like that.
No, it made me think of the at the start of the choruses to Feel in This, where it's got
the
bass drop things.
Yeah, the 808. I said it has a rockin' post-chorus to bridge section before the verses with the dan 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 of the chords. Cool. But I don't know what to call that because they do it on a couple of songs. It sounds like a bridge, but it's halfway through the song, and it will be there's like a post-chorus section. You could just call it a post-chorus section, but you'd be wrong because that's a different section. And then they go into this bridgey section, but then they go back into a verse straight away. So it might be a bridge because they don't have long songs. So it could have just been a really short bridge. But to come after the first chorus, do a post-chorus section, then a little bridgey thing, then back into a verse. It's like I don't want to call it a bridge because usually that's about 3/4 of the way through, 2/3. Yes. But whatever that section's called, I love it in this. I think I've done it really well.
Nice.
Take a shot every time the Ramones can into a song challenge. Drunk instantly.
Do you think if we cut up all, like the starts of every song where it was like the count in, you could pick which song it was?
That's a challenge. If you're big Ramones fans out there,
challenge.
That's a good one.
Listen to My Heart.
I gave this one a great.
Okay, I said good.
Okay, fair enough. I said it's so headbangy. This whole album, it's just got that dun, 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 kind of vibe to it. It's all around the same BPMs, I would think.
Yes.
For the most part.
There's one or two that are that are outliers. It's another one that has a real distinct melodic feel, I think.
Yep.
Compared to some of the other ones that have very similar melodic feels.
Yeah. It's there's so much in it that could probably pull apart and go, it reminds me of this song, reminds me of this song. The answers to me mostly arbitrary because it's just my subjective nostalgia, likening it to other songs. But there's a lot in it where I'm like hearing like Grease, like the Grease soundtrack.
Oh.
Like little things like that. I don't know what song in particular, but that's just what I'm broadly thinking. I said I could totally see if someone didn't like this sound, they'd hate the whole thing. If they liked it a little, they may get tired of it. But if you love albums that sound like this, you're in for a treat. Like especially when if you love albums that sound like one giant song, you will love it, especially when the song's banging. Like it's a really good song, and this album does it really well.
My favorite part is the section that starts with "That Girl Could Still Be Mine." The way it changes up, like, the whole like musicality completely changes. Love that.
Yeah,
it's really good. It's
cool when you've got like such a I don't want to say limited set of tools to play with, but that can be intentional. But when you are using a limited set of tools, when you are really clever with the way you move around it, I think that's where we were talking about the genius before. I think that's kind of like actually, and like not reverse engineering, but like dissecting what actually makes that genius. Alrighty, so 53rd and 3rd.
I said great.
Okay, I said good.
Okay.
We're just flipping back and forth.
Yeah.
That's pretty much this whole album.
Yeah.
We connected on the flame and then we just went our own way.
Rhythmically, a very different feel to start the album. To start this song.
I just said that it's all around the same BPM and this is notably slower. Yeah, pretty understandably slower.
That's for all the people out there that were waiting to jump on you when you said you never get things wrong.
You just wait for the next song, Jason. You are in for a problem. What's interesting to me is that I just heard this song and just was bopping along with it as you do.
Yeah.
Not really knowing the depth of the lyrics, but this is a very thematically and lyrically deep song.
It's dark, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. According to Wikipedia, the song is about a male prostitute who stabs a customer to prove he's not homosexual. Now, this is the thing that I wanted to say is that I didn't get that from the lyrics. And I wonder if that has been the band confirming that. It says here at the end, then because the different vocals come in the bridge that are nowhere near as polished as the main singer's vocals.
Yes.
So I don't know who's doing those vocals, but to me, I was like,
but I thought that was super interesting as well because that's the part of the song, that's like the dark part of the song where it's talking about the razor blade.
Yes, yeah.
And it's a completely different sound. As you said, it's clearly someone else singing.
And it does grab your attention. It makes you pay attention to that line.
Yes.
Yeah.
It makes it stand out.
Yeah, then I took out my razor blade. Then I did what God forbade. Now the cops are after me, but I proved that I'm no sissy. Now, unless that word is specifically tied to the connotations that they're saying that it is tied to, I took that as like, I proved that I'm not weak, like I stood up for myself sort of thing. Like, and that's what, as in like, I'm not going to get pushed around because to me, it's almost like it's an insecurity because he didn't feel like he wanted to pursue that line of work and he's been forced to do it. So he's really insecure about it and he snapped and had to stand up for himself. Yeah. So that was really interesting that was a different take. But to me, I was like, I didn't see it that way. Perhaps the band's confirmed that. I'm just saying as in that's the way I saw it.
Or this could be someone who's like taken their own like interpretation on one or two words in the song and thought, oh, they must be talking about this. But also I wonder if at the time certain words carried a greater or different connotation than what they do for us now. And we might look at this and think that's quite vanilla.
Yes.
Obviously the reference to the razor blade isn't vanilla, but like we wouldn't necessarily look at those lyrics and think that they're talking about someone who's homosexual, whereas perhaps in the 70s was a different situation.
That's a good point. That's what I was saying. I didn't know if that word had specific meaning, but to me, that's the way I saw it because I didn't see anything else in the lyrics that would make me think that it would be anything other than him just standing up for himself.
Yeah.
Because our whole idea, is that saying the one they never picked. There was never this part of that, then one day someone approached me or something. It's just like I had to fight to stand up for myself. Yeah. Sounds like the life of living on the streets, which ties into that grimy, dark, sweaty leather jacket, like punkness.
Yeah.
Which maybe influenced a lot of, we just did War and Errors and with a lot of the dark stories in that. Perhaps songs like this played a huge part in that.
Yeah.
I said so many lyrics because when in this song, when you got 3 lines of lyrics, that's a lot of lyrics for this album. So
interesting though, according to Genius, Dee Dee was a teenage prostitute.
Oh my goodness, wow.
Yeah.
I saw that there, but my problem is that as you've seen, I was too caught by the first line that I drew over that to point a note to say, make sure to talk about that.
Yeah.
So wow, it says his drug habit led him to selling his body as a male teenage prostitute. That's rough, man.
Yeah.
The song recalls his experience on the streets. Damn, no wonder maybe that he's singing that in the bridge.
Maybe that
could be him.
Yep.
We know nothing. We should confirm that. Who sings that? In 53rd and 3rd by Ramones, who sings the bridge line in that song about taking out the razor blade? Dee Dee sings the bridge, apparently. Yeah, so it is him. Wow, that actually adds way more gravitas to the line. That's cool. I like that. I really like it when bands out of nowhere hit you with a really dark and heavy song and people are like, oh, that's dark. So, yep. So it's a metaphor. Nope. That actually happened. Wow. Kind of shows that they've earned their right to be cynical or critical of society or the world, yeah.
But again, like they've got a number of songs on the album that take dark turns.
True, yeah. But to me, I think that hit pretty hard then, funny. That was a legit story, yeah.
Another war reference, though. I was a Green Beret in Vietnam.
Yeah. I wonder how old they were when they wrote this, because was that just the way they saw the world? There's a lot of talk about, like, at the time, I imagine, about war and Cold War, Vietnam and that kind of stuff. So maybe it was just topical and they saw life like it was a war, perhaps, and that's why they are gravitating so much to war imagery. It's really interesting how thick, doesn't matter what era it is, it's like they're pulling from World War II, they're pulling from Cold War, they're pulling from Vietnam War, right? Because they said about Vietnam, yeah.
Yep.
I always look so uncomfortable, like with the way I sit, but I'm actually so comfortable.
Your leg looks like
broken.
It's an unnatural angle, yes.
Yeah.
Let's dance.
Yeah, I gave this a great.
Okay.
Yep.
I said good.
Okay, interesting.
We really are going back and forth.
We should be able to guess based off what the first person says. It's either one up or one down.
No counting.
Oh, yeah. Because it's a cover.
That threw me.
Because it's a cover. You're like, oh, shit, here we go. Like, you did, give me a warning next time, boys. Every other song I've been ready to go. You've conditioned me. I didn't know it was a cover until after I'd written all my notes. And then I looked at the side thing and it said, this is a cover of a song by Chris Montez.
Should we listen to the original?
Sure. Sorry, guys. You know the drill. We can't play it on podcast. Boring, but you can check it out yourself. And we'll be right back with you after.
This is some pop punk.
Well,
interesting.
That is interesting.
Like 50s bebop.
Yeah, that kind of upbeat. I mean, the film clip is just people dancing in the 60s or whatever in black and white. He counted in. Interesting.
Yeah.
The one song that Ramones don't count in on it. The cover actually has the count in. I was joking saying the cover mustn't.
It's interesting because it felt like it had more of like just like a rock and roll sound to it. This song, I thought.
But then, you mean Ramones or that version?
This one. The Ramones
I was going to
version.
say, like, that would have been an upbeat kind of like, compared to what your parents listened to, this is not this song. So the Ramones, that gives context of how the level up Ramones would have been, actually thinking about it. What made me laugh, though, is when I found out it was a cover. I said, this would not have been like the guy from Killshot Power Boy from The Offspring.
Yes.
You know how he found out and got heaps of money? He would have gotten paid, but 38 years later, you know, like, wow, that's sick. Am I going to make money from that?
His great-grandson, though.
Yeah, exactly. He'd be loaded
Cha-ching.
because it took so long for the album to take off commercially.
Yeah.
But I said, I wonder what this album would sound like with modern production. I think I really thought, noticed that hearing this song with the drums going, dun, dun, da, dun, 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 da, it doesn't have much weight to them because they're old school recorded and they don't have a lot of sound. But I just imagined as I was listening to it with really bright, modern, big drum sounds and bright vocals and bright guitars, I think it would sound incredible. But maybe they might lose some of its charm. Like, who knows?
And that rawness.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I just was imagining it with like really big drum sounds because I think that's what they intended with the drums of let's have big drums, that type of thing. But it didn't really translate back in the 70s due to recording equipment, the limitations of the recording equipment.
I do love it when they cut back to just drums and vocals. Like it's not a massive drum sound, but it's got such a
drive to it.
Yeah,
and a big sound. Again, it just makes you go, how sick would this have been at a live show in some bar somewhere?
Yeah,
because I don't feel like this music is built for stadiums. Like this is built for like tight, like together shows.
Very good point. Yeah,
but not in a way that makes you need to be in a mosh pit or something. It just needs to be surrounded by the sound, so to speak.
They use organ in this.
Exactly. That was my next point, is that they used organ. Apparently that was uncredited, but it was the producer, I think. But specifically using organ, which was a go-to of Jerry Finn, of him, the way he put that into pop punk.
That's a good point.
I wonder if...
Very good point.
Because you know how we've talked about this through the years of being like, why organ? It fits like very harmonically, fits within the sound of guitars. So maybe there's some theory behind it. But why would you think to go to like a B2 organ in like a chorus of a pop punk song?
Yeah.
And maybe that's because it was... Then again, thinking about it, that cover, that sounds like it fits like organ, that kind of. So therefore you'd think, well, I might put some organ in the chorus because it was in the original.
Yeah.
And now we've found the blend as to why so much modern pop punk was influenced with organ in it. Because that's such a go-to thing. Saw a tutorial online that someone was like, this is how you make a pop punk song. And one of the things was in the chorus, use a B2 organ in the chorus because that's such an iconic thing in pop punk sounds. It's so synonymous with the genre.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it only pop punk though? Or like, are there other genres that have borrowed from that technique, do you think?
I don't know. I don't, probably, but like none that come to mind as recognizable.
Yes.
Or tied to it as pop punk. Yeah. I also just said one last thing is that I love the chords in the bridge. I just love how they lull you into a false sense of security with just that simple chord progressions, and then they'll put a weird chord in every now and then.
Yep.
Like, oh, they're figuring it out. They're breaking out of the cage, of just their standard chord progressions.
I don't want to walk around with you.
I gave this one a great.
Oh.
Okay.
I said fine.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say, does that mean you gave it a good? No, you would have completely got me wrong. Why fine?
There was nothing about it that particularly grabbed me. Right. And I think in this song, the repetition kind of wore on me a little bit.
Fair enough.
In a way that it didn't on some of the other songs.
Yeah, okay. I was just checking it because there's one song in here that's like 2 minutes. So I wonder if it was just 30 seconds too long, compared to the other ones. But it's, I don't know. I think it just had more of the cool sound. Do you think that the album, like the sounds are fatiguing you a little bit by this point? And you're just used to it? Because therefore this is fine because there's nothing standing out about it?
Maybe, but there's still songs that do grab me. Like, I mean, I enjoyed Let's Dance, the song before.
Yeah.
Like I gave that a good, but I still quite enjoyed that song.
Yeah, right.
So I wouldn't say I was like over it,
Mm.
but maybe I needed more towards the back end of the album in terms
Fair
of
enough.
like to kind of like stand out in a song, perhaps.
A bit more spice to
Yeah.
it, rather, because this might have just blended into the rest.
Yeah.
This is a song I say quarter of the lyrics is the count in, which is really funny. The whole song is, I don't want to walk around with you, so why you want to walk around with me? I don't want to go out with you. Which is really funny now thinking about that pattern. The previous song was like, Let's Dance. It's a romance song. And then it's like, I don't want to walk around with you. It's like, don't get too close. Just getting so tired of my points. I
promise you're not boring me. But.
So I said this is so punk rock in the lyrics, but it still is talking about the pop punk relationship focus too, which is like love and relationship, but it's punk rock. Like, I don't want to walk around with you, so why do you want to walk around with me? Like, keeping a girl at arm's length, presumably.
And it's got like the poppy backing vocals, like the ooh.
Yeah, which is so Beach Boys-esque. Yeah. But it's so funny. As soon as they let a girl in, next song. No thanks.
Yes.
Like, it's pushing them away. Alrighty, so Today You'll Love, Tomorrow the World.
I said good.
Okay, me too. I said a good as well.
Okay, nice.
Good song to finish the album.
Yes.
It's a bit different sounding to the rest of them too. I think this is the one that's over 2 minutes long. It's just a bit longer to finish.
Yeah, okay.
I was going to give this a great, but I don't like the transition. I mean, this is the thing. Sectionally, if you're looking at just the sections, great. And then, you know, I said with Hooch off Does This Look Infected? I said, great intro, flame second section, so I compromised on a crown. I typically do that with songs if I go, you know, find it in the middle or whatever. This, to me, is a great section. This is like an anomaly because the second half, I consider it to be great as well. I just don't like how they work together from one to the other. It's a bit immediate and just pulls the vibe out.
So you don't like the transition?
No. So I like the two sections individually. I think they're both great. If the transition was a bit smoother, it would be just a great song.
Okay.
But because that's the middle, but it just dropped it to good because I was like, I don't know, it just took the energy out for me, and I don't look forward to the transition. Once I'm in it, I'm like, this is a great section, but yeah, I didn't connect with it that hard.
I didn't particularly find it clunky, and the thing that I love about the song is that next section. Like, that's kind of where the song maybe elevates a little bit for me. Like, I love that they repeat the title to the song in that outro.
Yeah.
I love that it goes back to kind of like a halftime sort of feel, which maybe explains why you felt like it took the energy out of the song.
Yeah, I do think it's a really good wrap-up section for the album. It has that credits rolling, kind of fade out, kind of anthemic ending.
Yeah, but I guess that just worked for me, and perhaps for you, not so much.
Yeah, I have the note here saying I can't sing along with this one. I just don't get it. Obviously, it's not support for, because I mean, this is the thing. If you don't know the lyrics, this is the album where he says he has
it's the song.
This is the song, we'll say. But apparently the label said...
No, I meant, you said this is the album. I meant this is the song.
Oh, this is the song. But also this is the song that we mentioned earlier.
That's right.
That has the bad guys of World War II, as we said. He sings in this a line to say that he is one of them. And this is the thing, is that a record label apparently said, we don't want that on your debut album. You can't come out and say that. And it's like, apparently the irony is that he's a Jewish guy saying that. And that's the irony, right? I'm just going to have to take that as that's what it was meant to be, because I just don't fully get it.
Well, isn't it meant in the sense of, I guess, satire?
Yeah.
Where
it just doesn't click for me. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm just like, okay, I can understand it, but I don't fully get it. I don't get why. But apparently it never got changed, and it just came out, and they never did what the label said.
I thought it did get changed. I thought it was different from the original version.
Oh, okay. Well,
we check that?
Well, this is the thing. That's the research I did today that said that the original version was, I assume so. This is the original version because he says that he is a part of the bad guys. And the change, I don't know if this is just ChatGPT making stuff up as it does when it doesn't know the answer, but apparently it was meant to be like, it was like a word like stormtrooper. Like it was a different word altogether. And
maybe that's what I'm thinking of. There was something
that was, but apparently it never was changed in the final release. I wondered if it was actually re-released as the original version that wasn't censored, like perhaps later, and that's what the versions on streaming is.
Yeah,
but it's not that.
That's possible.
But I said, is it just for shock value? I guess it would be because it's edgy, it's like satire, but I don't fully get it, so I can't really understand it.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I think it's a good song. It's a good little outro, and it's a cool little wrap up song for the album, especially with so many military themes. But it also is really strange because conceptually it didn't just sit on the military theme. It's like relationships. I don't want you. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Something else, and then blah blah blah. Then I love you again, but then I don't. But military, and then CIA and bananas, and then now it's just like
CAA and bananas.
Well, yeah, that's kind of it. But then look at that. They ends up they count in at the end, but they do it in German. So
Yes.
that's the thematic resolution.
Yep.
Is that all the count-ins and now 1, 2, 3, 4. Wir or wir? I don't know. It's my total guess.
Yeah.
You gotta have a go in life, and I just had a go at speaking in German.
You had to go. I love the title to the song.
Yeah.
Today you love, tomorrow the world.
Which is, again, very James Bond-esque. You know, it has that kind of type of tie-in about it. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't find the meaning. Well, I guess who knows what they're really intending by the song. But to me, it seems, again, to be about this idea of, because there's something about like a shock trooper in a stupor, as though someone is kind of like,
yes,
they're kind of like just completely.
That's what I might be getting that confused. Shock trooper. I said it's like stormtrooper. It's that. Maybe he repeats it again, and they want it taken out, and to just say I'm a shock trooper twice.
Yeah,
right. Because I said before it was a word like stormtrooper, but that's the actual lyric.
Yeah,
it was confusing. I was asking questions back and forth. I don't get it.
Get to the bottom of that.
Yeah,
because I thought I read something about the fact that these lyrics were different at one stage, but maybe
but this has to be this can't be the censored version.
I don't think so.
No, because that's the part that they got angry about. Was like, you can't say that on a debut album.
Yeah,
which is interesting. Yeah. Alrighty, so that's it. That's Ramones done. The self-titled one. Probably the oldest album we'll do in the book club. Do you want to go back to Mozart or something just to make it a bit different?
To explain how that was influential on pop punk.
Yeah, influential on Ramones that led to blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
All right, so forget time.
Yes.
Gotta forget right now. Keep forgetting to do the intro. You used to go, I'm feeling this, but you don't anymore.
Yeah, well, I usually forget.
All right, so you want to go first?
No, you go first.
All right. So what I love about Ramones, not the Ramones, the self-titled album, it's just one vibe the whole way through the album. Like from start to finish, it's something that, as I said before, I love albums that sound like one song across an entire album, and it's just a movement through that entire song. So at a micro level, it's individual songs, but at a macro level, it all fits a bigger theme, which I understand not everyone would love because it doesn't have much variety. So that when you come into it, if you don't like that song, you're not really going to be, meaning the whole album song, you're not really going to enjoy yourself over the course of the album. You're not really going to be in it for a good time. But if you only like a little bit, you might find it fatiguing. You might not like it too much. But when you love the song, you just get so much of it. And that's what I love about it. And I feel like that album is this. To me, it's a portal into it just takes me into what it must have been. I mean, I would never know for sure, but it takes me a lot, at least what I can imagine it to be in the 70s as the punk rock, pop punk movement was coming through. I can just, I don't know, I want to be a part of that. You know, I want to at least experience it once. If I had a time machine, I'd go back to some dive bar, like sweaty dive bar to watch Ramones play in New York or something. That'd be so fun. I have always liked songs by them throughout my life, but I've loved really diving deep into this album because I think I've found something that I really love. I love hearing, usually you hear in bands and albums, little glimpses of, they're influenced by this band. But I'm hearing the opposite in this album where it's like, that led to this and that led to that. You know, like the organ in the chorus led to so many pop punk albums having organ in the chorus. Like the theme ideas, the lyrics, the melodies, there's so much in this you can hear later bands. And I think that this album being so influential to the point where it's considered by Rolling Stone as the #1 best debut album of all time and #1 greatest punk album of all time, it not finding immediate commercial success and taking 38 years before it broke gold or whatever is the most punk rock thing. You know what I mean?
Yes. So the thing that I loved about listening to the self-titled Ramones album is that you just have this feeling that you're listening to history.
That's a really good point.
Because you kind of put yourself in the shoes of someone who was listening to this when it first came out, and you think how like groundbreaking this must have been, and how like earth-shattering it must have been. And then to also be able to hear all of these future artists that you've listened to and how this has affected them. It's almost like this is kind of like seeing a puzzle come together. Like,
oh, good point.
It's like you think you kind of understand like the pop punk genre, and then you hear this and you're kind of like, oh, I kind of get now why certain things have turned out the way they have, and why, as you were saying, why the organ is used, but also like the way like you're combining love songs with what is otherwise a punk song, and the use of just simple, short, fast songs with pop-inspired vocals and how that would then become the cornerstone of the genre that we love.
Yeah, and you're right. There's even the love songs have twists to them, which is a theme you saw come later. A really good friend of mine said to me that what he loves about music is that music is almost like auditory photographs in a way that they capture a moment in time, and that vocal performance was a certain night on a certain or day in a studio in some place in the world, and you've captured that sound of that time. And I think you're right. This is like listening to history because you're not hearing music, you're hearing a specific time period where they might not have realized how big of what they just did was when they finished that album. Yeah, yeah.
And to think that it was all like recorded for $6,500 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
which is admittedly $4.3 billion in today's money due to inflation, but it is what it is. Alrighty, so what'd you rate this one?
My score came out at 4.6.
Okay, so that's a great album.
Is it?
Yeah, because when we lowered it to 4.51.
I really should learn these things.
Yeah, well, we talked about it the other week.
Yeah. That was
so why don't you remember it? That sounded so passive aggressive.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it that way. I mean, we did just chat about it. We only just changed it. That's what I was trying to say. So that makes it a great album. So where's that put it on your list?
So that brings it in at 9.
Okay, wow.
Number 9.
What's it above? What's it between, actually?
So it comes out between Open Your Eyes and Smash.
Oh, and your list is more aesthetic than mine. Looks good.
Yeah. How about you? What'd you rate it?
All right, so I actually rated this a 4.92. Which is quite high. Actually, no, it's not. That doesn't put that high on my list at all. I assumed it did. So to me, that brings it in at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it puts it between Dookie and War on Errorism. I actually thought I rated that higher than I did. I thought that would have been, I assumed that to be like in the top 5, perhaps, because I was pretty consistently high. Then again, lack of crowns, only a couple of crowns and one flame. So really, I think that actually does make sense. But yeah, you know what that means? Next week, someone goes. You know what I mean?
Someone gets...
Oh, potentially.
Yeah, someone's
potentially.
Getting... No, not necessarily.
Someone may go. It's like a reality show now off our top 10. I mean, how satisfying that it fits perfectly 10.
Yeah.
Which is good. But that's
someone's
how
flame's going to go out.
That's true. Someone's flame's going to go out. Good. Very, very on brand.
Also, you know what it means? We've just finished 10 albums.
Yeah.
There you go.
Do you want to... Well done. Do you know actually what I thought the other day that I was going to surprise you with? Because of course I did. Because I think about this stuff. I was going to be like, surprise! That's our 100th song that we just rated. But we missed it.
Oh.
It was during Open Your Eyes.
Oh.
Decision by Goldfinger. The one that I gave a crown to was our 100th. Well, there's contextual tracks as well. I didn't go fully into... Oh, okay. I thought about it. I didn't actually go in. But I figured I could go through and be like completely... find out exactly what's the 100th song. But I was
did you think to yourself, oh, I'm going to go and work out what our 100th song was? Or did you... Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
What was the other option?
I'm not sure.
No, I did. I thought about that.
I have an eccentric brain. I was like, maybe this came to you in a different way.
No, I thought to myself, I want to see what our 100th song is. But then as I looked through the albums, every album has been more than 10 songs. So
yeah, sure.
We have definitely been over with it. But yeah.
Maybe we should celebrate our 150th song.
Well, I figure that. Let's go for 1,000. You know, we're in this for the long haul.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You'll hate me by the end of this. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching and paying attention this far. The listeners to us rambling. That was Ramones, Done and Dusted. We've done so many like foundational albums now. I think we might have them all covered. Like, well, then again, there's 3. Smash, Dookie, and Ramones are like the 3 big ones, the big heavy hitters. But
in terms of the early ones, yeah.
But we have got an album for next week.
We do.
Did you hear that? Is that the sound of bats?
Yes.
And spooky sounds?
It is. Could it be? Get your black eyeliner out, everyone.
Dun, 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 dun. Right? Oh, this is our first takeover. Dun, 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 dun. If you guys are going, what on earth is a takeover? We don't know. We're making this up as we go as well. We have no idea what we're saying. But next week is?
Halloween.
Yeah, it's Halloween. We don't really celebrate Halloween in Australia, but we figured that why not do something fun for the book club?
Yep.
So what are you doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
Well,
That's bats.
We are going to do a Halloween special. We're going to turn the Pop Punk Book Club black. It's going to be the Emo Book Club. One night only.
One night only.
Yeah.
Check in next week. And for that, what are we doing? What's this? That's a drum beat. This is a drummer. It's a count.
The count. Yes,
the count.
The self-titled Used. The Used?
Oh.
The Used or not?
Yeah, it's the
Or is it
Used.
Used?
No, it's the Used. You're
Is
just
it the
training,
Used?
Yeah, you're just training yourself off
Yeah.
of Ramones.
There we go. The self-titled The Used album.
Yep, self-titled album by The Used. We're doing that next week. So just for a bit of change, it's going to be the Emo Book Club next week, just for Halloween, this little fun special. So as you said, dust off your eyeliner and your tight black jeans and your Macbeths,
Yeah.
Atticus shirt,
Yeah, definitely.
and anything.
Straighten your fringes.
Straighten your fringes, yeah.
Yeah.
And come dressed as something fun. Maybe we'll do that too. We'll see.
Yeah, we should.
But thank you guys.
Does that count though towards the album ranking? Do you think?
Yes.
Oh, it does count.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Because it's let's say we use the word adjacent very broadly. we'll very much lean on the broadness of that word next week. Got to see where it sits.
We can see where it sits for sure, but I don't know that it should be an official ranking.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I agree with that, to be honest. We need to start the Emo Book Club one day and it can have its own little whiteboard. A blackboard. A blackboard. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you, whatever platform you're listening to this on or watching on, please go interact with it in some way because it makes us be able to do this longer for you. And please let us know. Send in a voice memo or an email or something like that. You can email us at podcast@poppunkbookclub.com and send us through your thoughts. And leave a comment on this video if you're watching on YouTube or something like that because we love hearing from you. And as you heard, we will read out your comments and chat about them on the show. And make sure you check in next week for the Emo Book Club special for Halloween. It's going to be heaps of fun. But until then, I think, hang on, is there something else we have to do?
It's time for... It's time for Poppeth Punk.
Pop punk in the style of Shakespeare. One verse, one chorus. You get one guess. Let's go.
To whom it may concern. I care not for thy customs nor thy wear. Ne'er did I wish to fit within thy frame. A knave I am, and freely do I err, without remorse and without an ounce of shame. When I was young, afore the drink and strife, we spake not lies, nor lived as slaves to time. But now, though grown, I shun the measured life, and still I jest and scoff at what is prime. For I shan't be told to hold my tongue, nor take the blame for what I've not begun. Thy world be false, thy laws be broke. I live to laugh, to spit, to smoke. I walk alone, gainst street and stone, a rogue, a brat, unloved, unknown.
That's so hard. Oh my goodness. What on earth is that? Like every pop punk song ever? It's hit every theme, every possible theme of a pop punk song. I hit a buzzer beater with Damn It by Blink a couple weeks ago. I don't know if I can do the same this week. That's very hard.
It's definitely not an obscure song.
Right. My lads, I don't know. You're going to have to let me know in the comments. I have to draw a blank on that one. I have to throw in the white, the parchment. I have no idea. What is the answer? Oh, that's a really hard one to get because it's not the way you think the lyrics would go. But that makes sense. Do you know what my guess would have been? For some reason, I was thinking Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day. And
okay.
I was in a totally different space. Well,
yep.
You get that one. Well done, because that's a good one. And Sam's right. It's actually not obscure. So let us know if you get it in the comments below. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you guys next week.